So in this eye, you can see quite a few weaknesses. You see that thick line going around the eye? That's called a skin ring. Indicates your skin is not eliminating waste properly. It means your thyroid is weak. You're not sweating as you should. Your metabolism is to the weaker side, okay? And you need to increase your sweating. You need to work on your kidneys. And need to work on your thyroid. So use a thyroid lift tincture. For your kidneys, they affect this because when your kidneys don't filter out waste, your body will try and eliminate through the skin, because the skin is the third kidney. So this shows us the kidney filtration is weak and the thyroid is weak as well. Okay, so use kidney tea, kidney tincture, and use a thyroid lift tincture. See that dark line going around the pupil? That indicates you're malabsorbed. You're not absorbing nutrients as you should be. This is due to mucus plaque forming on the small intestines. Okay, so we need to address that. Use the bowel strength tincture and the bowel cleanser. If you look closely, there's a purple hue going around the iris. That's called cholesterol ring. Indicates that you have high cholesterol. The body is using cholesterol to fight metabolic waste and bind into it. If you see the purple color here as well, and the plaque, it shows potential cataract or eye issues. Okay, this is cholesterol in the eye. If you look closely, there's fine lines leaching out the pupil. That's called radix alaris. It indicates toxic tunnels of waste leaching out to other body parts and glands, especially the brain section here. This section right here is the hair and scalp region. It's also congested as well. The potential hair and scalp issues arising. When you see those dark spots here, when you see it's closed like this, these are called crypts. It's lack of energy flow in and out of the tissue. Okay. When you see it's open-ended like that, that's called a lesion. It indicates that again, poor energy flow. So these show chronic levels of, with regard to the tissue it's on, okay? So here's the ascending colon, here's the transverse colon, here's the descending colon. You can see the bowels are quite chronic, and you have lesions there and crypts along those lines, okay? So you need to address that. When you see the white color, yellowish tint to it, it's potential candida and sulfur. So we use antimicrobial tincture and use the bowel strength tincture and the bowel cleanser to clean the bowels. You can see quite a bit of acidosis here. The red blood vessels right here indicates high acidosis. When you see it yellow a bit, that's liver weakness as well. If you look closely, there are rings going around, faint rings. Those are called nerve rings. Indicates you have a weak nervous system. And if you look closely around the bowels, there's a line going around the bowels. That's called an autonomic nerve weak. Indicates that your digestion is weak due to weak nervous system, which again is due to weak adrenal. So this needs to be fixed as well. This condition in the brain section right here, quite a bit of congestion, okay? This needs to be addressed. Also, if you look closely, you see dots, faint dots going around. Those are lymph nodes, and they're moving to the swollen side or stagnant side. So you need to address that. Use lymphatic herbs, and you use kidney herbs to address it. So right here is the pituitary gland. You can see all this section right here. You can see how there's congestion there. This is the master gland, the gland that controls all the other endocrine glands. When it's weak, all the endocrine glands are weak. So we need to address this. Use the endocrine tincture, use the pituitary tincture. Strengthen this. Right here is the life force part of the brain. You can see it's congestion there as well. Okay, so life force means exactly that. There's life force. So you need to clean the brain with the neurological tincture. Right here is where the pineal gland is located. You can see it's quite chronic. So the pineal gland controls sleep and also controls other hormone regulations. Okay, so you need to address that. Use the endocrine tincture and neurological tincture. If you are currently having sleep issues right now, you can use a good night sleep tincture to help you. Right here is the forehead region, also congested, and here's the eyes, the nose, upper jaw, mouth, tongue region, all here congested, the sinuses. So the sinuses need to be clean, because remember the head houses the nose, eyes, ears, but also the some endocrine glands and the brain. So you want it to be in good working order. You don't want acids to be there, because acids will affect the function. So use a neti pot with peppermint oil to break the mucus in your nasal passage. You want to use hot and cold compress at the back of the head, do some eye washes, some ear candling. Anything you can do to help break the mucus congestion in the sinuses, okay? Because we don't want acids to stick around. Right here, that dark spot right there hits the thyroid. You can see you have chronic thyroid, and the thick skin ring indicates you have a weak thyroid as well. So you use the thyroid lift tincture. Above it are the tonsils, also congested as well. Tonsils are the main lymph node of the head region. It's what drains acid of the head region, and then the waste is then sent to the kidneys to be eliminated. So it needs to be in good working order. Use the endocrine tincture and the neurological tincture. Below it here, right here is the parathyroid, also weak. So when you have a weak parathyroid, it means you have poor calcium utilization. You could have varicose veins, spider veins, brittle nails, hair and skin, wrinkles, depression. You need to use the endocrine tincture to help strengthen these parts. Right here is where the voice box is located, okay? And beside it is esophagus, and here's the scapular region, all congested of lymph. You want to address that. Use the respiratory tea and the respiratory 1 tinctures to help strengthen these parts. And right here is where the upper back is located. Here's the middle back region, and here's the lower back region. You can see it's congestion there, and especially the lower back region, there's quite a bit of inflammation there. So use the circulation tincture to strengthen these parts. Okay, the lower back and the bladder right here. Okay, they're all interconnected to the kidneys because they're very close to the kidneys. So when there's inflammation there or congestion, it's due to the fact the kidneys are not filtering out waste. So fix the kidneys. This region will take care of itself. The spine runs across here, right here as well, also congested as well. So again, use circulation tincture to strengthen these parts. This section right here is the uterus. See that dark spot right here? So it's congested. And here's the vagina region. So you need to use the female reproductive formula to strengthen these parts, okay? Because it's quite deep, the congestion. This dark line right here, that's your adrenals, and here's your kidneys, okay? As I told you before, when the kidneys and adrenals don't work properly, the whole eye gets congested because the lymphatic system is connected to the kidneys. When the kidneys don't filter out the lymph system backs up. And remember, the lymph system is in every single cell, so everything starts to be affected. So use the kidney tincture. For the adrenals, use the adrenal restorative tincture. The adrenals control the kidneys as well, but the adrenals also control autonomic nervous system, which means that any kind of nervous system that's automatic is controlled by the adrenals. And as I pointed out to you, the nerve rings going around are due to weak adrenals. Also, the autonomic nerve ring going around the bowels, the line going around the bowels, that shows weak digestion is due in part to the adrenals. So use the adrenal restorative tincture. And right here is the left foot, knee, and thigh region, also congested as well. Okay, use the lower circulation tincture to strengthen these parts. And right here is where the groin, the abdominal wall, and the pelvis region are located, all congested as well. So use the lower circulation tincture to strengthen these parts. You can see it's quite chronic. Okay, and this dark line right here, this is where the pancreas is located. Look how chronic it is. So use the liver and pancreas formula. The pancreas helps you with digestion. Okay, also controls insulin production. And right here is the testes and ovaries region. So ovaries here are congested. Use the female reproductive formula to strengthen it. If it's a male, it's with the prostate formula. So right here is where the spleen is located. You can see it's quite a bit of congestion there as well. So use the lymphatic spleen tincture. And beside it is the left arm and hand region, also congested as well. If you use circulation tinctures, this will be addressed, taken care for you. So this section right here is where the ribs, chest, and thorax regions are located. You can see it's quite a bit of congestion. You can see there's a nerve ring going across it. So use the respiratory T and the respiratory 1 tincture. The breast is located right here as well, also congestion. You want to use the circulation tincture to strengthen these parts. And the heart, look at this section here. See that dark spot here? It's the heart. It's congestion there. Use the circulation tincture. Besides, the thymus, also congested as well. Work on the lymphatic system. And if you clean up the lymphatic system, all this should take care of itself as well. Here's the upper lung region. Here's the lower lung region, also congested. You see that spot right here? That's the upper lung region, all congested as well. Use the respiratory T and the respiratory 1 tincture. Right here is where the shoulders, okay, neck, and the ear sections are located, all congested as well. Use the circulation tincture to help strengthen these parts as well. Okay. Right here is where the mastoid and medulla regions are located. Now, these affect balancing, equilibrium, and dizziness. If they're congested, you're going to have those issues arising. Okay, and the cerebellum is located right here as well. This deals with communication between the brain and the rest of the body. If it's congested, there's going to be a problem with communication. Okay, so we want to strengthen this part. Use a neurological tincture and use the circulation tinctures. Right here is where the hypothalamus is located. You can see it's quite a bit of congestion. Okay, so you want to address this because hypothalamus is what deals with sensory information from the outside world to the brain. Also deals with hunger and thirst, and also deals with regulating hormones as well, especially the thyroid. Okay, so it controls the thyroid, the hypothalamus, and you want to address that because you have weak thyroid. So you use the endocrine tincture and the neurological tincture as well. Besides, is the epileptic center of the brain, which is very close to the mastoid and medulla. Again, affects balance and equilibrium, etc. So you want to address that with the 100% fruit diet and the herbs I just mentioned. So overall, this eye is quite congested. You have quite a bit of lymph stagnation. The thick cloud-like structure in the eye is lymph. And again, the lymph is connected to the kidneys. When kidneys don't filter out waste, the lymph system will back up. We move the lymph system with 100% fruit diet, with the lymphatic herbs. We gotta fix the kidneys with the kidney tea and the kidney tincture. Very important. Clean the bowels, very important. Work on the neurological section or the brain section right here. It's very important. So to clean up. You also want to work on your thyroid, very important as well. You know, go 100% fruit diet will clean up the high acidosis in the body. Okay, it's take a little bit of time, but you're gonna feel great as you go along. Okay.